Comment if this is you. You brag about being a control freak. I'm just a control freak. It's my way or the highway. I just need things this way. 30 things you need to know. If the map doesn't agree with the ground, the map is wrong. So what we think. If our lives don't match what we think, then our map in our brain is wrong. Number 2, we are what we do. Number 3, it is difficult to remove by logic an idea not placed there by logic in the first place. Number 4, the statute of limitations expired on most of our childhood traumas. The world does not owe you anything. Your kids don't owe you anything. Number 5, any relationship is under the control of the person who cares the least. Number 6, feelings follow behavior. I think Jada Pinkett Smith cares less than Will Smith. Although if I were Will Smith, I don't know, if they're getting divorced or separated or they have an open relationship or whatever, he's not going to have any trouble getting some poon. 7, be bold and mighty. Number 6, feelings follow behavior. Don't forget that. Feelings follow behavior. You are what you do. Do stuff and you'll be happy. It's not like, once I get happy, I'll break my depression. No, you break your depression by doing stuff. Be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. The perfect is the enemy of good. Life's 2 most important questions are why and why not. The trick is knowing which one to ask. That's what we talked about yesterday. Like the why is an interesting question. Why did this happen to me? Why blah, blah, blah. But the better question is why not? Why not try? Why not go for it? Why not do? 37 of y'all. You guys all have your book reading along? Too soon old, too late smart. This one's good. Our greatest strengths are our greatest weaknesses. We learn about this in business. Your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness. This is a blind spot. You think you got it. There are certain personality traits that are highly correlated with academic and professional success. Dedication to work, attention to detail, ability to manage time, conscientiousness. People who have this constellation of traits are generally excellent students and productive workers. They can also be difficult to live with. Really? I'm difficult to live with, dedicated to work, attention to detail, ability to manage time, and conscientiousness.
Hey, Dr. V and baby Milani here for a quick word for our sponsor, Resellers program. Resellers is the quick, easy way for average people like you and me to make a free $750 a month without hosting parties or doing sales. It's not an MLM. There's no credit check to see if you can be approved for it. It's a free $750 a month. Check it out, www.ultimatemoneytree.com, or just text DRV to my friend Jerry at the number listed below.
He says, yeah, mofo, think about it. Those who demand much of themselves frequently have high standards of performance for those around them. I do. In a work situation, this is usually an adaptive approach. In one's personal life, the keeping of lists, perfectionistic attitudes, devotion to effort over pleasure and friendships, lack of flexibility, and stubbornness do not wear as well and tend to alienate those who value closeness, relaxation, and tolerance. I think my life has shifted. I value closeness, relaxation, and tolerance. And I don't have the same perfectionistic attitudes or work drive. I want to be like Sadhguru, where I get a lot of shit done by not doing much work. Volunteers come and plant 150 million trees in one day. A certain amount of compartmentalization is necessary to succeed in the different areas of our lives. Juggling our multiple responsibilities, worker, partner, parent, friend, is a challenge. We think of ourselves as the same person, whatever we may be doing at the moment, but our different roles demand different attitudes. If we try to impose a business-like vertically integrated decision-making structure on our families, we are likely to encounter resentment and resistance. Conversely, if our style tends to be impulsive, superficial, and pleasure-seeking, we may find it difficult to succeed at work. One theme that is played out in many marriages is the coming together of someone with strong obsessive characteristics, usually a man, with someone else who has a more impulsive and theatrical personality, usually a woman. These people are initially drawn to each other because of complementary needs. The man is in need of more entertainment in his life, and he values the woman as less inhibited, more spontaneous than he. The woman sees the well-organized and meticulous man as promising a measure of restraint that will balance her impulsive tendencies. This is definitely true for me and Erica. It is easy to see why such a relationship often contains the seeds of disappointment and frustration. Went through that. He, why can't you be more responsible? She, you just don't know how to have fun. Like, no, I have surgery in the morning. People with compulsive character structures are vulnerable to depression, as is anyone who seeks perfection in an imperfect world. Think about that. Do you seek perfection in an imperfect world? Comment if you think you are a perfectionist, or a list maker, or do it my way or the highway, or I know best. Which one applies best to you? Now, the reason why I'm asking you that is because I never thought about it like that. Why would I drive myself nuts trying to be a perfectionist when the world is imperfect? Are you trying to be a perfectionist in an imperfect world? Why can't you accept that the world's imperfect and you just do your best? You know, you don't have to do everything perfectly. It's really doing. That's perfect. Christina says she's guilty. People with compulsive character structures are vulnerable to depression, as is anyone who seeks perfection in an imperfect world. It is often puzzling to such people that approaches that make them successful in their work are so poorly received by those who they live with. Obsessive people put a strong emphasis on control. Anything that threatens the sense of being in charge induces anxiety. This leads inevitably to efforts to reassert control, in effect redoubling the behaviors that produce the problem in the first place. They double down on the behaviors that cause the problem. The resultant conflict produces feelings of frustration and discouragement and further reinforce a sense of failure. Oh shit. A sense of failure, that's me. Again, the how's that working for you question can keep therapy within useful parameters so that people are being challenged on a practical rather than a theoretical level. I love that. When people say like, oh, well, I got to do it my way, or I got to do it this way, I'm like, and I always go like, how's that working out for you? And how is that working out for you? You know? And most of the time they're like, yeah, not good. We all tend to get defensive if our deeply held convictions are challenged. This is why most political or religious arguments are fruitless. If we can be induced, however, to consider what we are doing on a purely pragmatic basis, we can sometimes be persuaded to try new approaches. I mean, you just kind of give them pragmatic means like practical. So you give them a practical basis. You're like, well, you know, wouldn't it be easier if you tried it this way? And then they think about it and they go, oh, that would be easier. That would be quicker. That'd be whatever. And then they get them to change. I got Marcos to start reading Millionaire Mindset by the T. Harv Eker book. I brought out a bunch of books yesterday, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I gave him a big stack of them. Practically any human characteristic, competitiveness, orderliness, even kindness, when indulged to an extreme, can produce undesirable results. Any human characteristic, when indulged to an extreme, including kindness, can produce undesirable results. Perhaps this is just another argument for moderation in all things, but we need to acknowledge that those qualities of which we are most proud can prove our undoing. People brag about that. People brag. Comment if this is you. You brag about being a control freak. I'm just a control freak. It's my way or the highway. I just need things this way. They brag about it. They brag about being a perfectionist. They brag about being orderly. They basically brag about being inflexible. But these things that we are most proud of can prove our undoing. We are face to face here with the sometimes confusing role of paradox in our lives. An example is the well-known advice to be careful what you wish for. The longing and loves of our youth, so ardently pursued, often lead us towards some combination of amusement and regret in our later lives, right? Have you done something when you were younger that you now regret? Where is that girl we so desired in high school? Even if we are married to her, the person we fell in love with is a memory, as are all too often the feelings she inspired. The things we are sure will make us happy seldom do. Fate, it seems, has a sense of humor. Many of the girls that I lusted after in high school are a little chunky. There's a couple that have remained very svelte and now good-looking 50-year-old women. That is weird to say, 50-year-old women. Fate, it seems, has a sense of humor. The list of paradoxes is endless. The relentless pursuit of pleasure brings pain. The greatest risk is not taking any. My personal favorite is the truth that everything in life is a good news, bad news story. The long-sought promotion brings more money and more headaches. Our dream vacation puts us in debt. Experience has taught us well, but now we are too old to use the knowledge. Youth is wasted on the young. That is an amazing paragraph. Let me read that again. And think about it. Which ones do you fall for? Which ones do you really resonate with you? I'm going to read that paragraph again. The list of paradoxes is endless. The relentless pursuit of pleasure brings pain. I did that in college. The greatest risk is not taking any. Never had that problem. My personal favorite is the truth that everything in life is a good news, bad news story. The long-sought promotion brings more money and more headaches. It sure does. Our dream vacation puts us in debt. Yep. Experience has taught us well, but now we are too old to use the knowledge. Amen. Right here. I still have time. I can still do it. Youth is wasted on the young. So luckily, I've gotten enough knowledge and experience and wisdom early in my years. I'm only 51. I still got time to make a couple more mistakes, so I'm going to go for it. Impermanence mocks us. Our efforts to learn, to acquire, to hold on to what we have, all eventually come to naught. This is the final and controlling paradox. Quote, only by embracing our mortality can we be happy in the time we have. Dude, you gotta highlight that. That is gold right there. Someone write that down in your notes. This is the final and controlling paradox. Only by embracing our mortality, you gonna die, mofo? Can we be happy in the time we have? And that's what we're really after, is to be happy in life. Isn't that true? We have to embrace our mortality. The intensity of our connections to those we love is a function of our knowledge that everything and everyone is evanescent. That means like short-lived and quick to disappear. Our ability to experience any pleasure requires either a healthy denial or courageous acceptance of the weight of time and the prospect of ultimate defeat. Our ability to experience any pleasure requires either a healthy denial, that's obesity, right? Come on, lean back. It's a denial. It's a healthy denial that your weight's a problem, or you know it, you're just going to ignore it, that eating this chocolate right now will give me pleasure. But you're in denial. Or, on the other hand, courageous acceptance of the weight of time and the prospect of ultimate defeat. At some point, y'all all courageously accepted, I'm running out of time. I don't want to live my old life with this weight. I don't want to be obese anymore. My knees are hurting. I want to be, here's a big one. I heard this a lot, which was, I want to be around for my grandchildren. That is the courageous acceptance of the weight of time and the prospect of ultimate defeat when you put it to obesity. What a great chapter. I love how, our greatest strengths are our greatest weaknesses. I think that's funny, how he tied into, he spun so much in there that really had nothing to, I didn't think that chapter was going to go that way. Basically, we are living a life of paradoxes. It's so interesting. The biggest risk is not taking any. There is no bad chapter in this book. It is so good and so deep.